What about my sex life?
What?
Barren.
Alive, not dead.
Well, greetings everyone. I'm of course Director of Arketer Labs, as far as I can adequately prove. And welcome to another open mic article where it'll be starting actually with the continuation of my previous idea, the Arketer Labs Controversial Book Club. In just a moment we'll go over my reading of the sneeches. But before we do that, it's time for the meet and greet as soon as I try to stop screens from malfunctioning and wandering off on their own, which is getting really old. I don't know what I was thinking when I programmed that in. So it seems to be working pretty well so far. As you can see, I am joined by... Well, actually, you probably can't see because it's the first time he's been on and for some reason he's got the screen. Lord Marshal Gex has joined the call.
Howdy ho.
We also have... Franz.
Oh,
Final Blackout. And Izub.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And Orla Sarah.
Bye.
Real Miss Steam.
Hi.
Do it. It's just not meaningful to... No. That's going to have to wait. And... Angry...
Steam, how many times have I told you to stop fisting yourself on camera?
I can fist myself as much as I like, thank you very much.
Strictly speaking, playing with yourself on stream.
It's
Yeah.
not like you did start it.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Well, you know what? I need to be the better.
You're the one who
Man.
keeps letting me in here.
Fairly easy. It's all part of the agreement, as you well know. Also, greetings to the
Yeah.
chat, including the Infidel K. Show, Mr. Steam Yups, it's me.
Mr. Steam, what?
Mr.
Daddy's
Steam
home.
Yups, it's me.
I'm not married. What are you doing?
Quick, divorce her while you still can.
Meant
There
to
we go.
be.
Now it's
Meant
working.
to be.
Yes. Well, I don't know what they think they're doing, but, you know, I've already issued all the warnings. Your fates are in your hands, not mine. I'm just hoping that we'll be able to manage from going fully extinct.
You say that, and then you go and internet gas people on the stream.
That happened once, and it wasn't even to you at this point. Okay. But yes, that was unfortunate, and I do feel deep regret. I also got endless amounts of grief as it was. Just moving on.
I still have to pay for the trauma therapy.
Greetings. Means of destruction.
But apparently my visor said
Izub.
no.
Greetings, Splatdude. And Old Man Enfield, and I believe, along with Infidel, that... oh, Joshua Van Noctis, greetings. Okay, that's surely everyone, but... it was way too short today. I just need to get control of myself, that's all. No excuses. Don't be provoked.
Yes, no excuses.
See, it's important. It's a matter of acclimation. I think I'm still feeling a measure of stress from Wednesday, and once I start thickening my skin in reaction to it all, it'll be fine. Welcome all to the show, such as it is. Apparently, there's a new movie coming out, Katja Erber's The Columnist, in which a journalist takes revenge against internet commenters in the US. –
Because they were mean.
Ah, so a communist wet dream, basically.
It's apparently certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes, and if you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes, you've been paying attention. But, yeah, this reminds me of an old article. Maybe it's very plausible, after all. They clear to be out of their goddamn minds, and anything but professional. So, one of them going completely bonkers because they couldn't handle mean words online, and I believe someone who might better qualify as a journalist once said there's nothing more hypocritical than a thin-skinned journalist. Well, it just reminds me of this article from Business Insider. Journalists drink too much, are bad at managing emotions, and operate at a lower level than average, according to a new study. This took way too long to acknowledge.
Wait, I'm sorry. You had to have a study for that?
Apparently they did. They're apparently good at managing the stresses that come with their jobs, although according to this movie, maybe not all that great. But apparently, journalists' brains show a...
journalists blasted. That's literally it. They just got a bunch of journalists blasted.
Well, the one thing here is that we don't actually have journalists. What we have are, for the most part, propagandists who are using the title with absolutely no right to do so.
That makes it even more redundant because propagandists are angry people that want to push an agenda. That's why I hire them. They're perfect.
Glorified bloggers.
Generally, yes. But this study found that journalists' brains show a lower than average level of executive functioning, according to a new study, which means they have below average ability to regulate their emotions, suppress biases, solve complex problems, switch between tasks, and show creative and flexible thinking. Gee, it's almost as if they're being chosen for lacking all of the traits one would expect of a news reporter. Huh. How did that happen, I wonder?
Let's ask Reddit.
Sometimes propagandists get a bit too excited, and then you have to replace them.
High turnover. Yeah.
Certainly, some higher turnover could be called for, and I think we know where these journalists might just come from.
I have to replace them every month or so because there's always one that just tends to do it a bit too much to the point where it's not believable to the brainwashed masses, and then I have to kick them out, and then I have to fucking have a new one, and then...
I'm not sure if brainwashing qualifies. Well, some people do seem to be subject to that. I just have to count that we have to rely upon the statement that you can't fool all the people all the time, only some of the people some of the time, or all the people some of the time, because we certainly need a bit of a turnaround on this point. Oh do we? But let's not get too dark on that. Instead, not to be too vain, everyone, but have you already seen my reading of The Sneetches?
I wrote a poem about it.
Some others have as well, I noticed.
And you were the only one who...
You did.
It was the only thing you didn't like. It's fine.
Yes, I've heard of the Sneetches.
I might have missed it, but that could have been just psychological self-defense.
Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't know why you would need anything like that against me. I'm adorable.
Any case, so the rest of you saw it. You know the story, how it goes. Did anyone not see it? Well, you know, we're just going to go through it. It's a short reading, and I'm going to suffer, so you might as well too.
Yeah.
Come on, full screen, full screen.
You haven't earned that right yet.
Little cog.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, an ultra boomer's more tech savvy than you.
You had more practice with it. I don't get to run music.
It's been the case for some time now that the only
Well,
time I'm on
not while you're there anyway.
channel is the live stream discussing SE.
Remember the next time you leave me to hang in the wind.
But I also need to start uploading other videos discussing
Okay.
all sorts of things that are not SCP related, even as
Flapping in the
weird as I might
breeze.
hope they were, because it would follow them the Foundation might contain them and make the stupid stop. Like, say, the recent at least partial cancellation of Dr. Seuss, whose descendants have apparently forced publishers to stop producing certain stories.
That's way too faint. Nope, nope,
Though,
nope.
now's the time to stock up on Dr. Seuss. I know I'm going to. In fact, I have it the last time Seuss was randomly claimed to be terribly, unacceptably hissed in his works. Apparently, one of the controversial stories was the Sneetches. That's one of the best
Right,
messages of all
bitch.
his works, I might say, but well, you can judge for yourself because I'm reading the damn thing. I'm reading it right now. In fact, I'm thinking about making it
Ouch.
at least a weekly occurrence.
Oh, it's painless. That's the entire point. Like Novocaine in ray form.
Let's go through the story.
Mm.
Now, the
That sounds
star-bellied
like a good
sneetches
time.
had bellies with stars. The plain belly sneetches had none upon bars.
Seriously, no, that's one of the few
Stars
things
were
they
so
don't
big,
enjoy.
They were really so small, you might think such a thing wouldn't matter
Surprising.
at all. But because they had stars, all the star-bellied sneetches
This was a
decided
terrible
to be the
idea.
best kind of sneetch on the beaches.
Hurts.
When the snoots in
No
the
star.
air, they would sniff and they'd snort, but had nothing to do with the plain belly sort. And whenever they met some, when they were out
Maybe
walking
she
You know,
used
it's,
that
hel-
gun on
it's
yourself.
healthy.
past them without even
I need to face my deep seething contempt for my own voice and visage.
You only could play if your bellies had stars.
Yeah.
and plain
Why
bellies
would we
had
want to
none
watch
upon
someone
bars.
who's as boring as that?
When the star belly sneetches had frankfurter roasts or picnics,
I should
or
have had a
whole
marshmallow
nother pot of coffee.
toast, they never
If I was going to have two
Yeah.
two Director Arketers on screen at once.
They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they
Look,
treated
is
them.
any consolation?
Then one day, it seems, while the plain belly sneetches were moping and doping alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. My friends!
Just how I like her.
Clear and keen. My name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I can fix it up, chappie. I've
No,
come
I don't
here to
truly
help you.
hate
I
myself.
have to.
I just
And my prices are
hate
low,
the
but I
sight and
work
sound
at
of
great
myself.
speed,
It's,
and my work is 100%
apparently overall normal.
guaranteed. Then quickly, Sylvester McMonkey.
I think that's an
McBean put
evolutionary
together a
trait,
very
actually.
peculiar Machine, and he said, "You want stars like a star-belly sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just
You
pay
think
me
she'd
your
have more
money and
experience
hop right
talking without
aboard."
using her
So
tongue.
They clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burped, and it bopped them about, but the thing really worked. When the plain belly sneetches popped up, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. When they yelled, then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all the same now, you snooty old smarties. And now we can go to your Frankfurter parties." Good grief,
Pick me a winner.
groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best sneetches, and they're the worst. But now how in the world do we know?" They all frowned. "If which kind is what?"
I don't know. I
and the
didn't even
other
have
way
to do
round."
anything.
Then up came McBean with a very sly wink. And he
Isn't it
said,
great when they
"Things
mock
are not quite
themselves?
so bad as you think.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's who. That is perfectly true. But
I don't
probably,
even have to
friends,
do
do you know
anything
what
and
I'll
he's
do?
irritated.
I'll make you again the best sneetches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches. Belly stars are no longer in style.
Sit back and enjoy
What you
the
need is a
editing
trip
while
through
it
my
goes
star
on.
off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like the sneetches who have them on laws, and that handy machine,
Those were the
working
days.
very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, they let out a shout, "We know who is who, there isn't a doubt. The best kind of sneetches are the sneetches without." Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you can probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of the day on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up sneeches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again. Changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through until neither the plane nor star bellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car.
I can tell you, but it'll cost
They
you.
will never learn. No, you can't teach a sneech.
Check your snatch.
But McBean was quite wrong, I'm happy to say.
My thatch.
That the sneeches really got quite rotten that day.
Not on camera, not on my stream.
Sneeches are sneeches, and no kind of sneech is the best in the beaches. That day,
You
all
do it on my
sneeches
stream.
forgot about stars and whether they had
When
one
someone says
or
open
not
wide,
upon Mars. You know,
Wait, we can stop here. That's enough. That's enough. I don't need this again. But we got to the story. That's the important part. We're here to discuss it now.
His name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean. That doesn't.
Come on, where's the cog? Get off! Get off!
I've been trying.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone here, if they weren't already aware about how the story of the Sneeches went, now knows. Surely, no. Did anyone care to discuss that? Any idea why this was found so terribly offensive on your end? I mean, I clearly had my ideas for it.
see, the stars are clearly cancerous. Like, they're tumors. And so Monkey McBean was giving them tumors on and again, off again. You know, basically, you know, healthcare for, what, 13 bucks? But the cancer experience, $13.
I think I found my gun. No, that's not my gun.
Might be mine. The more you rub it, the bolder it'll get.
It's clearly her electric toothbrush.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the steam that
Yeah.
has teeth down there.
So, the stars were synonymous for cancers. Is that it? That was the take on there. I just noticed that, honestly, Steam, you should have loved this story. After all, what is Sylvester Monkey McBean if not a capitalist?
Oh. Okay, yeah, he does get some points from me.
I mean,
Yeah,
genetic
race grifter, but
experimentation.
still.
Non-stop genetic experimentation.
I'm totally behind that.
Yeah, look, I don't buy it. I think at some point after the story, we learn that both machines just painted on a star or painted on yellow paint. The stars were genetic in origin, so
Yeah.
there's no way
I don't think my
this
gun
clonky
is in
bonky
here.
machine. What?
Oh, I was just saying I don't think my gun is in here.
How far did you dig?
Pretty far. Pretty far.
Did you?
If
Did
it's
you
any
change
farther
the
than
light
that,
bulb? 'Cause
then
that's been on
there's
for a
no
little bit.
point in looking. It's gone. It's in the oven. It's scrap. There is a minor risk of ammo cooking off, though.
She found the lifesavers
So
though.
rid-
Steam's
so
stomach's just gonna
ridiculous.
go off like a chest burster.
Don't be so ridiculous. That's not gonna happen. Oh. Okay, never mind.
That's one spicy meatball.
You know, not
No,
Izu.
no.
Have you ever put popcorn up there?
Yeah, it just burnt.
I think Infidel has it right. One of the big
was
problems
asleep.
with the Sneeches is that it was an anti-discrimination message. It really, really was. After all, it stressed that all the Sneeches on the beaches were equally idiotic. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say equally. Again, one of the things that I think it failed to address personally was that if you're a Sneech and you don't have a star on your belly, why should you mope and dope on the beach? Just wishing you had a star in your belly. What sense does that make in any reality?
Go have your own
Well,
damn
it
party.
demoralizes the. Well, it demoralizes them and then turns them into your slaves without them realizing they're slaves.
Got to keep that morale low. That's true.
No,
Oh,
but
sorry,
see,
not
that's just
slaves,
it.
Citizens.
The Starbelly Sneeches didn't actually do anything to the ones who were without the stars, moping and doping on the beaches. The starless ones were sitting there of their own power, their own will, their own accord, accomplishing nothing but moping and doping about, feeling bad for themselves. Not at any point did they have their own hot dog roasts. Not at any point did they have their own games. They didn't try to outdo their competitor or prove them wrong. They just agreed, oh, I guess we are worse.
Yes, that's how you demoralize people, and that's how you stay in power.
Well, then they actually are worse if they're not exerting their own willpower.
Well, at the very least,
There's
they're
no
quite well
dominant
deceived.
hierarchy there.
Survival of the fittest.
No
right?
one T-posed there, so this doesn't work, Steam.
No, true.
Well, my entire argument there is that, strictly speaking, they were fucking up. They should have been competing. They could have had their own cocktail parties, their own games. They could have been making the very solid argument that they were, in fact, the superior Sneeches on the beaches, and that's how they should have gone about it. But that's only the second best to how the story plays out in the end, which I grant, in realizing that stars on, stars off didn't matter. It never did. I would like to see some meritocracy approach, personally.
I'm just waiting for Whittled the Turtle. That one will be a fun psychological bit on dictatorship.
Nope, 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 nope.
If the lovely chat would like to annoy people and annoy Arketer, which is the more important thing, really, then please donate below.
Greetings, Megon. This still works, so no.
This is Director Bellend, by the way.
Now,
Yeah,
Art,
Megan
can you
Cloud's
like
working
just
opposition
barely
helmet.
hide? Can you just barely hide behind the monitor for a picture?
I could, but I don't trust your intention.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm an innocent angel. I've done nothing wrong.
I had to replace 1,000 robots because of you. What the fuck are you on about?
You had to place your toilets because of me. Damn it. Are your toilets robots?
Aren't yours?
Probably, and programmed to be self-aware just so that you can enjoy their suffering with every flush.
Oh no, I was the one who made him self-aware.
Well then...
No.
One of
Okay,
them's
so
a
apparently
real
Froman has
slut.
entered the race for more evil than Miss Team.
One of them's a real slut. It's
How
kind
dare
of fun
you.
to watch. I
Just
How
one?
dare you? He is not more evil than me.
just one, yeah.
Oh.
It actually weirds out the other ones. Like,
Also,
so
they weren't-
it works as like a twofold sort of thing.
Also, they weren't toilets, they were actually robots. He just said they were toilets because it had letter T on them.
I mean, if I use it as a toilet, it's a toilet, right?
Look.
Um,
I'm
not going to endorse that. In any case,
I put the boom boom in. It's a toilet.
did
And
anyone
the boom
argue
boom
that...
was a grenade.
Did anyone ever argue that the Sneeches was actually racist because the Sneeches were classically yellow? Has anyone done that yet? I mean, that does seem to be the trendy hip
Well, see-
thing to be accusing now, because China said
It-
so.
It's white and yellow, so you know it's double bad.
Like Big Bird.
Director Arketer, how could I hurt Miss Team's feelings in that way? By inferring someone else is more evil?
I am an evil, evil son of a bitch. Fuck you.
Okay.
So
Son of a bitch,
you know,
huh?
there's like a resin that solidifies when you
Even
apply
when you don't have the
heat to it.
attachment screwed in?
You get a cocking thing and you shove it up there, and she'll be fighting with that for like the next week.
Shut up, Froman.
Speaking of Froman and things that he's put forth, the Babylon Bee has a lovely article on, well, man still clinging to outdated belief in good, all-powerful, generous, and loving government. Unfortunately, he's not
Nicest that
alone.
statement's ever been said.
It's just depressing. I mean, I've met several people who are absolutely exactly this. They somehow think that the government really cares about them personally. New York, New York, local man Ricky Quintana has taken criticisms for what some call his archaic and outdated beliefs. While most people have matured enough to discard silly, childish ideas, Quintana is still clinging to his faith in the existence of a good, all-powerful, generous, loving government. I just know that there are good people in Washington who are looking down on me, he said. I might not be able to see them or prove their existence, but I know they're there. It's like the wind. I can't see it, but I can feel it. The man prays while facing Washington, D.C. every day, asking his magic government daddy to bring him blessings. He reads articles in newspapers about how humanity just needs more good government to ascend to the next plane of utopia, sort of, morning devotional. The idea of an all-knowing, all-powerful government was popular hundreds of years ago, but Enlightenment philosophies and millions of people killed by the government seem to disprove this notion. Still, many worshippers of benevolent government still cling to their faith. But as for Quintana's household, they will stick to their faith. If we would just surrender our lives to the government, we will have abundant life. And I don't know about you, but I've met people who basically have that exact argument on Twitter. But then again, that's just where hope goes to die anyway, isn't it?
Fair. That's a very, very fair statement.
Why do you keep going back then?
Because it gives me joy to see others suffer. Oh, you mean him?
As
I don't know, I think he's got
will
a-
admit,
He likes the harassment.
No, I think he likes to argue.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't kink shame him.
I do enjoy arguing on occasion,
Yes.
and it's good to occasionally challenge yourself with opposing viewpoints. And, every once in a while, I'll admit it is incredibly cathartic to just unsheathe the wit and go choppy.
That
It's
is
a-
honestly it is fantastic.
It's
Fair.
It's not really healthy. It's a bad habit. I think it's the mental dietary equivalent of having ice cream waffle cake burrito thing, but it's still really nice in the precise context.
See, I think that's incredibly unhealthy. If you want to take out your rage, do it the natural way. By torturing people to death.
Now
That's a
in low
good
calorie.
halftime.
At least you have that satisfaction. On Twitter, you don't even have that satisfaction, you just have disappointment. Disappointment makes me angry.
Abandonment of Twitter, I don't feel is necessary, although I do hope some competitors give them a run for their money. I'm on at least one of them myself. But
I recommend Float. It is currently full of anti-vaxxers, and I am having the time of my life.
that actually sounds pretty amusing. Because I should note that I'm not generally anti-vax, but I do have views that will get me labeled such by complete dumbasses who have some very bizarre ideas about what the government should be allowed to do with their bodies.
I think anti-vaxxers are terrible. You can't steal their children. You just don't know what they have. No one wants to eat infected meats.
Oh, just label it as free range and then resell it.
God,
Yeah.
you had one anti-vax. God, you had one anti-vax child. I'm sorry it gave you smallpox, but You're a corpse. You could walk it off easily.
Oh,
I mean, I could, but that's not the point. It's fucking disgusting.
Hey, at least it wasn't a crack baby, okay?
wait a second. If I provide you with Arketer Macon, can you... No, no. Ale committee will be aware of this and they'll never sign off on it, but... I promise they wouldn't.
I'll have Arketer.
No,
Wow.
no, you'll
Yes,
record it
give
and
your
you'll
exact
send me the
visual
footage just to...
duplicate to Omegon, so that he
That
can
won't-
make it twerk.
Okay, yeah, that would have backfired terribly. I just really, really hate
Well, I
them.
mean, I wouldn't make him twerk, but I make him do other things.
No, you
And
won't.
you're right, and you hate that clone
Well,
anyway.
That would
I
make
just
Shirley
give him to
Jackson
me.
shiver.
Tell you what, send him to me. Nothing bad will happen. I assure you.
I'm
Arrange
already
an
regretting
accident.
that.
That's just need to rearrange it now. Moving on. Apparently, there's a new policy going live in New Zealand. The no jab, no job policy in New Zealand PM outlines that private companies will be obliged to ensure employees are vaccinated. So, from my body, my choice to my body, state choice, and that does seem to be rather the theme across the globe. Since people who have the vaccine are still catching strains of it, as one would expect with a highly unstable virus that mutates at a high rate of speed and is insanely infectious. Honestly, vaccine, this is just a huge payday. Huge
Assuming that the vaccine was effective as people claim it is, it would still take 8 months for it to properly reach the vaccination percentage rate to be effective.
But they're already signaling that it won't be effective.
Yep.
Yep. So, if you're counting on the vaccine to save the day and put everything back like how it was, you know, with all your freedoms being restored, sucker.
Has anyone verified
Okay.
we're not in a broken game of Plague Inc.?
No one has verified that. In fact, I
shit.
believe even Elon Musk thinks we're victims of simulation theory. That this all might be just some aliens' emergent design game, and I don't think he has room to complain about it. I'm not too concerned, though, until alien jackasses with shotguns pop up, start blasting each other, and screaming about getting good. Up
With
until that point, I just want access to the source code.
shoe on head theory,
I
the
came
world.
to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
The shoe on head theory is the world ended in 2012, and we've just been descending further and further into hell.
I've thought about that.
Don't think we can be sure, but
I think
That we've been left behind.
oh yes, Director
my
of Arketer Labs, a
strategy
mortal
of
threat to the
just killing
virus.
everyone who... I think my strategy of just killing everyone who comes near me coughing worked
Most
pretty well.
wild rate. Really terrifying, but it turns out that if you keep track of every single death whatsoever, you can get a really big number that's great for scaring people with. In the same fashion, you could also scare people out of cars, going to the bathroom, having a bathroom, and a variety of other things that the media is not going to scare you with right now.
Well, I mean, majority of accidents in the home do happen in the bathroom.
Yep, indeed. Clearly, we must get rid of bathrooms to say for the greater good.
You're wrong on your statistics, by the way. It is a 2%, not a 0.2% risk of death, and that relies heavily on your age, weight, sex. So it's as little as 0.02% if you're an infant, to 25% if you're elderly with a bunch of pre-existing conditions.
If you've got all of those pre-existing, I'm actually quite impressed you've made it to the point of being elderly.
right?
Hey, where did the flu go?
At that point, you're a tough, wrinkly old cunt.
Oh, sorry, Steam. You have the mic.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Another shot flat baked off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until Megon's still here.
And yes,
Here.
Jordan Showarding, it is a higher death rate from me personally than COVID.
Speaking of for the greater good, can blood
She's
from
playing-
young people slow aging? Silicon Valley has bet billions it will. As one Duxakila said, we're not going to say Alex Jones is right, or that he's insane, or that he's sane, rather. But we do have to note that, once again, he did call it. Just, they are basically vampires.
Huh. Can young people... Wait. Scroll back up. Can blood from young people slow aging? Izu,
I mean,
get the bath ready.
I don't think we have it. We're gonna have to, kill a bunch of kids. I mean, it's 1860s England. There aren't really many young people. You only live to be like 30.
yeah, you know.
Well,
it's
good
natural.
news there. It's supposed to be people under 30 that are good for this. It doesn't have to be children.
I mean, Izu, you're a
Hey!
clone.
Remember that Jeff Bezos wanted to launch a whole bunch of daycares?
What?
Dude,
Gotta
if you
have
remember
fun
that?
somehow.
He wanted to launch a bunch of free daycares. Free daycares, everyone. Isn't that great news? Gee, do you think it's anything
If
to
you
do with
have
it?
enough children, it'll be harder to keep track of them.
No, but I think killing a blast full of blood would be easy. Just go clone a bunch of Izubs, get a few employees that were, thinking of quitting anyway. Hey, Orlo, you want to help?
We're
Hashtag
back.
Elizabeth Bathroy.
And this is
Sounds
how
like
Steam has a
fun to me.
300% fatality rate.
I think any of us could be
Hey,
much
blood
deadlier
helps.
than if we set our minds to it.
Hey, if blood does. Hey, if blood
I forgot
has.
how... Go ahead.
If blood has anti-aging, then
I want to stress, bathing in it won't do. I know you're going with this.
whatever.
Drinking it, bathing in it isn't
Hey,
going to.
bathing.
We're talking transfusions.
Oh, like a Chevy.
So, like, putting in a canned product and drinking it wouldn't work.
Not yet, but we'll see what the vampires start putting on the market whenever they get going.
What, transfusions? I do transfusions for fun.
You're already a case in, aren't you, smoking rat?
I'm already way
Yeah, I'm
ahead
not
of
going to
them.
press X on that one. The Spanish firm Griffles helped set off a kerfuffle last year when it, along with other firms, offered nearly double the going price for blood donations for a COVID-19 treatment trial. Brigham Young University in Idaho had to threaten some enterprising students with suspension to keep them from intentionally trying to contract COVID-19. The trial failed, however, and now the Barcelona-based firm is hoping to extract something far more valuable from the plasma of young volunteers. A set of microscopic
Also,
molecules that could
Brian
reverse
Yoda-
the process of aging itself. Because what we really need are the old people sticking around longer in positions of authority.
Shut up, the dictator's talking. Also, Brian Yoda, no. I don't care more about staying young than I do about $1 billion not going to me. I still want $1 billion to go to me, but I also want to stay young. $1 billion.
Earlier
Like,
this year,
Joan Rivers is the only person on the planet who ever had more artificial parts than her.
Ugh.
the only other person
I
who
thought
had
she
more
beat-
artificial parts than originals.
I thought she'd beat Joan Rivers.
No, she still has the original tits.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah. That's
organic.
right.
I have some organicness in me, mostly my tits, my brain, and one eye.
What the point? In any case, earlier this year, Griffles closed on a $146 million deal to buy Alkahest, a company founded by Stanford University neuroscientist Tony Weiss-Corey, who, along with Saul Valletta, revealed in scientific papers published in 2011-2014 that the blood from young mice had seemingly miraculous restorative effects on the brains of elderly mice. This discovery adds to a hot area of inquiry called neuroscience that, quote-unquote, seeks to understand molecular and cellular mechanisms that make aging a major risk factor and driver of common chronic conditions and diseases of older adulthood, according to the National Institutes of Health.
What was the company's name?
Alkahest.
Alkahest. Really?
Alkahest.
He named his company that's selling the potential fountain of youth of using blood, Alkahest, the fictional alchemical ultra solvent.
Yeah.
Alchemist. Why does that sound familiar?
Alchemy proposed that there was what is known as the universal solvent, would dissolve anything. They called it Alkahest.
Probably really
Where
huge
can I get
pitch to
Alkahest?
store if water doesn't count.
Water is what we in scientific communities consider the universal solvent, but
Yeah.
It doesn't dissolve everything.
Yeah.
Like your mom.
In the last 6 years, Alkahest... Sorry, seems to have pinched. It's not meant to be worn this way, but they didn't design it with my goggles in mind. And look, whatever just brings the screaming down to bearable levels is entirely worthwhile, regardless. Any case, in the last 6 years, Alkahest has identified more than 8,000 proteins in the blood that show potential promise as therapies. Its efforts and those of Griffles have resulted in at least 6 phase 2 trials completed or underway, treated a wide range of age-related diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Alkahest and a growing number of other geroscience health startups signal a change in thinking about some of the most intractable diseases facing humankind, rather than focusing solely on the etiology of individual diseases like heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis, or for that matter, COVID-19, which apparently was no barrier to their blood sample selections.
I'm just asking. So, Arketer, can I have your blood?
No.
He's not younger than you.
No, I'm
That's
pretty
not
sure I
what I
am.
wanted it for.
He's old and gray.
Okay, fine. Someone in chat said, "Can virgin blood tighten my pussy?"
Yeah, it does need to be tightened. Let's be honest.
I thought
Don't
that
they
was that's a mechanical adjustment, I thought.
Like a zipper.
It's a
That
hybrid.
depends what you mean by
more
virgin
like a spanner,
blood.
but
Because
Oh,
if you
it's-
mean virgin blood as in someone who's never had sex, no, that won't do. If you mean virgin blood as in that blood has never been used for a magical ritual before, yeah, that might help. If you don't mind playing with a few magic tricks.
Well, the question still hasn't answered. Can I have your blood?
No, the answer was already answered some time ago. No. You're not getting a sample of my blood. And you're not getting in
Pretty sure
physical
virgin.
proximity to secure your own. So,
Look,
no.
I'm pretty sure a virgin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a virgin.
If disproving the slander requires giving you my blood or putting you in proximity of taking that blood, I'll just bear the slander, thank you very much.
look. Ark's blood is all weird and black.
I see, and that comes back to the weirdness of this article. I think the whole thing is just a giant joke. Wanna know why? Because the Alkahest name and the fact that we've got him playing around with blood. There was 4 stages to matter according to alchemy. Negros, near death. Citronella in the early stages, yellow. Albedo, white. And then rubido, red, as the last stage of near perfection.
All I know is that whether or not it's a prank, a joke, or a lie, they're going to make a lot of money from a bunch of desperate, insufferable people looking to hang around for as long as they possibly can, and long after I believe it totally plausible they're going to do any good with their time.
Hey, Izub, do you know if we have anyone who, is in a fence? Maybe younger?
I'll go take a poll.
Ah,
Until I find out the sum, I'm going to be careful. Oh, good. My caution has been rewarded. Brian donated 20 Signas. Sorry, not Signas. I've been doing too much time on side quest. It burns into your memory. I mean, at least I'm not having any identity problems. Ignore Thursday before last. That just not. That was April Fool's. It doesn't count. Brian donated $20 to say, Froman, can you fill Ox helmet with milk before next week's show? Message phlebotomized.
Will do.
I mean, I think cheese would work better, but okay.
cool. Now that's happened. There you go.
Now that that's done,
Well, you know what? I'm going to accept that one because I think more people were gluing themselves to the screen in the hopes that, well, Steam would circumvent it again and they got you instead from it. And I think that's just. Because that's not how the show is going to be run.
Screamed out in terror as their eyes were melted.
Yes, I will not be forced, tricked, or duped into pimping out Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thank you very much.
Oh.
stop dying.
We don't want to know where that
She's
came
falling
from.
apart.
Geoscientists are trying to understand how these diseases relate to the single largest risk factor of all, human aging. Their goal is to hack the process of aging itself and, in the process, delay or stave off the onset of many diseases most associated with growing old. Now, diseases and growing old tend to go hand in hand, and I know it's a really nasty part of life, the whole, eventual death. But I don't think trying to prolong it indefinitely is very wise. I'd be much more interested if they were able to, say, properly, fully replicate a human mind within a digital context. That has potential. But even then, that's basically a second-hand afterlife, perhaps, reference. I mean, being able to consult the great minds past for advice on certain policies would be one thing, but they definitely shouldn't be making the calls themselves. I don't think this is going to end well. And it doesn't really help that it all hinges upon harvesting blood from the young. That feels like a certain sort of species auto-cannibalism that I am really not comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm back.
I mean, the
Well,
next step would be transferring younger bone marrow.
Welcome home, honey. I made you a
Well,
sandwich.
that's probably a better idea in the long run, but just as wrought with problems,
Oh, absolutely.
with rejection and everything.
If we're trying to achieve immortality, why don't we just, figure out how to start the quickening, and there can be only one. We'll all compete for the prize.
Oh, thank you, Orsa, for the $20.
Nope. Orosur paid $20 to say, to stop things blending too much for you, let's remind you are and request you sing for me, darling. Ah, right. Well, I believe that's a request for a song. No particular one was requested, but I can probably pull something up in this short order. We can make this a... time's about up anyway. This is a novel way to finish it off. Any particular songs you would want to hear?
No, I'm good.
Well then,
Huh.
blood seems to be a theme here.
Songs, huh?
Here we go. Oh, the shark, babe. Oh, them pearly white And I see that something has gone wrong with software just to screw with me. Yes. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but I resent it. Steam? Did you do this? Yes, the output got changed on me. What's going on?
Your
Your
voice
No,
robot
you
is
changed
very
the output
loud.
if you recall because it was fucking up.
Voice changer. Voice changer is on.
I think my system just tried to augment my singing with a forced voice change, and I resent it. I knew that Windows update was a mistake.
Windows updates are always a mistake.
Okay.
Skynet strikes again.
Look, I have commission to sing, and by hook or by crook I will. As soon as I make sure everyone's hearing things properly. One more time. Oh, the shock. No, it's not working, is it?
Nope.
Microsoft! Oh,
You can always
right.
delay it until next week. I won't be
No,
offended.
no. You commissioned a song, and by hypothetical God, you will have a song!
Your voice was coming through on the stream because I just unmuted it to check.
Well, let me know if you're hearing this. Are you hearing that, Rat?
Yes.
Very good then, here we go. Oh, the shark, babe, has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly whites. Just a jackknife has old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though, wears old Mac Heath, babe. So there's never a trace of red on the sidewalk. Oh, Sunday morning, and as a body just oozing life, and someone sneaking around the corner. Could that someone be Mac the Knife? Now there's a tugboat, down by the river, don't you know? Where a cement bag is just drooping on down. Oh, that cement is just, it's there for the weight, dear. I'll get you 10 old Mackies back in town. Now here Baldwin Miller, he disappeared, babe, after drawing out all his hard-earned cash. And now Mackie spins just like a sailor. Could it be our boy's done something rash? Ah, Jenny Diver, ho, 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 Suki Tawdry, oh, Miss Lotte Lenya, and oh, Lucy Brown. Whoa, the line forms way on the right, babe. Now that Mackie's back in town, I said Jenny Diver, oh, Suki Tawdry, look at Miss Lotte Lenya and oh, Lucy Brown. Yes, the line forms on the right, babe. Now that Mackie's back in town. Look at old Mackie's back.
Actually, I'm gonna go back to the Bluetooth headphones, shouting English at me.
I appreciate you, reserving your heckling toward. Well, I think that about caps off everything else here. I suppose now we do the promotion thing. Depending on how many people have actually just driven away from the show. No. Some people are still here, so it can't have been all bad.
Anyway, if you like any of my artwork, please, there's a Redbubble store down below, and I guess there's his stuff too, but no one really cares about it.
Yes. The
And
artwork
also,
that you
please
recognize.
subscribe to my channel, Misty.
Please do put the link in chat. Oh, thank you for your applause, Salty Chef. I assume when you say do it again, you meant me. Order Seraph, I take it you are content with your purchase, I hope.
Indeed, I was.
Excellent. Despite all the technical difficulties. Anyone else have anything else they want to promote before I go through everything else I'm otherwise obligated to mention?
Sub to my OnlyFans.
Reservoir
At your own
Slobs.
peril.
Soon. Even sooner now that we have all three of us here. But only mildly so.
Fair enough. I, of course, will be seen, well, running Side Quest Monday with, presumably, others here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or maybe just someone who looks very much like them, but with messier hair for reason.
Maybe. What's with my hair? Is my hair messed up?
No, your hair is fine. Why, it's very
Is
well
it ever
maintained
fixed?
and not at all slick and curiously suggestive in odor.
Okay.
I'll say I'm looking forward to that, but I have to be honest. Sure. I will, of course, also have, now, here on out, Best Test on Wednesday with Real Miss Steam
Real Miss Theme.
on this
It's
very
a
same
good
channel.
Yeah, where I torture him with music, or you can bribe me to torture him with music, or make him sing.
Such as was done right now, only with a predefined menu, or we could just choose anything. Same prices. Well, in any case, all of your support is much appreciated. Every single buck that comes my way goes to me, and I appreciate it.
Except for stress tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's me.
Uh,
Oh, and by the way, Rat,
Yes.
just want to point out, last time you borrowed my hat, you actually borrowed all his skin hat, so just saying. Careful.
Okay.
It's only meant to be a novelty item.
truly,
He's a bit sensitive to human skin.
truly,
See.
the lore gets deeper and weirder with every passing.
That's what happens when you let the loonies run the asylum.
And
But at
Nerdy Rodent
least
says,
it's
I'm following Ark on Friends Reunited. Wait a second. What is Friends? I don't recall signing up for anything called Friends Reunited. I might need a link to this Friends Reunited. I may need to speak with my attorneys. Glad you could join us, Nightwolf, Charlotte Chef. I'm glad if you all enjoyed the show, and we are something else to do here? Oh. I think we worked out. I'm not in magic auto-tune mode still, am I? Someone would mock me back for now. That can't get.
Biden?
If he starts getting somehow less senile, I guess now he might have lead on how with the new Empire treatments. Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable.
Bye.
Has there been any luck
Seriously,
tracking
though-
down that lost Izu?
Seriously though, I want your blood.
Wait.
You're not fooling anyone. You're a virgin.
We
What do you mean
almost
I'm a